Hey there, and welcome to another video. I am so excited because I'm sharing about something that I am really passionate about, and it is how to take photos from your phone, from your DSLR camera, from sessions that you've had done, taken of your family, and actually put them in printed form so that there's actually a printed legacy of your family's life to show your kids, hand down generation to generation. I hear about this problem all the time. And maybe it's because I'm a professional photographer, and so I hear about it from photographers, or then I think about it, I'm like, it's not just photographers, moms in general, like everyone struggles with feeling like they're trying to save these cute moments in their kids' childhood history, and they just can't seem to find a way to do it. And something that has helped me is realizing that there was actually a foundational commitment decision that I established before my daughter was born that has helped me actually maintain my system for documenting my family's life. So I am a professional photographer, and I know that in some ways it would seem like that would make it easier for me, but what I've found for a lot of people is that being a professional photographer actually hinders them from being able to document and save their family's life. It's almost so overwhelming, and there's so much you could do that most people shrink back and they don't even take real photos of their kids. So there's a lot of problems here, but there's also a lot of solutions, and I'm excited to share those with you. So I'm going to share with you 5 foundational guidelines that have helped me establish a rhythm and a system and a process to consistently document my family's life and not miss things. First things first, number 1, you got to make a commitment to what you care about the most. And here's the thing, you can stop watching this video if this point doesn't resonate with you. For me, I thought about, okay, as a mom, I can't do everything under the sun, right? I can't do everything that every mom does that's special or sweet or sentimental. I gotta figure out what my thing is. And my thing is not teaching my kids family recipes and cooking with them. I'll still do that every now and then, but that's not my commitment. Like, that's not what I want to leave as a legacy. That's not me. What is me? Like, what am I going to contribute and be committed to? And for me, I thought, okay, I am committed to documenting my family's life. So that is a commitment I'm making, and I'm also setting myself free from not trying to be anything else. Like, that's just what I am so passionate about. So I'm going to commit to just that, and know that while other moms might be teaching family recipes, I have my DSLR camera out and I'm documenting what's happening in my kid's life. So number 2, once you make your commitment, then you have to start thinking about what you want to get clear on, like what you want. But then the next step is like, what does that actually look like? And maybe not just getting clear on what you want, but why do you want it? And I'm not saying you have to write this down, but it is something good to think about. And it helps me to envision the ultimate goal of these books. The ultimate goal of these books, I have actually started to see come to life in the last few months with my daughter. She is turning 3 next month. And it's really, really sweet that I've shown her these books and I'm like, hey, F. And I'll open them up and I'm like, who is Mimi holding right here? And she'll say, oh, that's baby Evie. And she knows that that was her when she was little. That conversation and connection that I have with her is only going to grow. And so the second point and the second guideline is to think about your why in this project, because a lot of times I don't want to show up and do this. I'm tired at the end of the day, but the why of this is enough reason for me to keep going. And that is envisioning seeing my family and my children enjoy seeing the visual story of their life. Okay, so the third guideline is to realize that if there are parts of this they're going to seem crazy to you and overwhelming to you, then we either need to create a new system or a new method, or you need to not do it. Because here's the thing, the overall purpose of this is for it to be a joy. And I know it's a lot of hard work, but if you thinking about your ultimate vision for this does not give you enough joy and motivation to keep doing it, then you don't want to have a part of your life that you're just miserable doing and that you hate. Part of it is, though, realizing no matter what you decide on, if you start feeling anxiety and stress about this type of documentation, then it might not be the right fit. And there's a certain level of freedom that comes with being able to recognize when you feel excited and when you feel like you just have to do something. And so that's my marker. Sometimes, in the spring, families all here, kids are playing out in the yard, the light is beautiful and golden, and it's like, oh, I should have my real camera out. But if I don't feel excited about it, I'm not going to do it. An iPhone pic here and there is fine. So you really have to be, one, okay with not documenting everything, and two, gauge kind of how you feel internally. Like, am I excited about this, or is it stressing me out? If it's stressing you out, then back away from it. So the fourth guideline is to think about your family's life and all the parts that you want to organize and document. So when you think about it, it's not as simple as just saying, well, I want to make a family yearbook. Okay, well, what's going to go in the family yearbook? Is it just iPhone photos? Or is it just DSLR photos? Or let's talk about video. What about video? What do you do with all the funny, hilarious clips that you have on your phone? Once you start listing out everything that you want to create a system for, you can start thinking about what is actually feasible and what you can actually accomplish. So these are the list of different areas of documentation in my own family's, visual legacy. There's iPhone photos, there are iPhone videos, there are DSLR photos, and there are actually DSLR videos, some. There's some professional photos that we have taken, like from a real photographer, like we pay them to do family photos. What do we do with those? And then there's like substantial like vacations. What do we do with those trips? Do we just put them in the family yearbook? Do they get their own book? Like, how do I organize that? If you want more in-depth information about some of these things, I would love to hear from you, because there's a lot of people who only are concerned about iPhone photos, and there's a lot of people who are only concerned about DSLR photos. How do I manage them? How do I edit them and actually get them in a book? And you want to know those systems. So leave comments below so I can hear from you and know exactly what you want to learn from. So number 5 is to actually start thinking about creating your systems. We have our list of things that we want to figure out an organizational structure for. So now we have to start thinking about, okay, each thing's going to have a system, or I'm going to combine some things and make one system total. So in general, let me give you a quick run through, and then in some other videos, I'm going to explain the nitty-gritty of how I actually get all these things done. So I have a family yearbook every year. I love it. This is like my prized possession. These are all of my family DSLR photos that tell a story of our full year. And an example that I always try to explain to people is that if we went on a big trip, like, we went to Scotland. Scotland has its own book, because that's a massive trip with a lot of photos, and I don't want to spend, all of these pages full of trip photos. That would take up like a third of this family yearbook. So I don't want to put this entire trip into this. So I don't dedicate half this book to our Scotland trip. It's just a few pages, and if I want to see the entire trip and the full story of that trip, it's in this book. Anything that's on my iPhone that I think is worthy of being saved, I favorite, and then I go to that favorites folder and I upload them to a personal family Instagram account that I don't promote anywhere. It just exists for me and my family. That's where I share iPhone pictures of our life, and every month I know that if there were great photos of our kids and our life and things we're doing with friends on my phone, it's going to be shipped to me in book form, and I've saved them somehow. So when it comes to videos, I'm excited to explain in another video about how I take just a few seconds of a video a day and I save it on an app. And it's not going to feel like a home video like what I grew up with, where it's like 20 minutes of us doing nothing, but it's fun to watch. It's not going to be that feel, but it's a system that's easy. I can keep up with it. I can do it on airplanes without Wi-Fi. There's a lot of different reasons why I made all these decisions to create the systems that I have. And let me just say this as we close. The beauty of figuring this stuff out is not what you get right now. It's what you're going to do down the road, like how much you're going to enjoy this book down the road. I'm seeing a glimpse of that with my daughter. She's 3. I can't imagine how much fun it's going to be when she's 13. And I get to show her the story of her life and our journey as a family together. It only gets sweeter. So that's the beauty. It's like, what can we do now to have the legacy and the gift of this later? Like, I want to save all aspects of my family's history in a visual format. And these are the ways that I have created a consistent format to be able to do it. So I'd love to hear from you guys. What part of all this stresses you out the most? Where do you not have a system? Where do you want to have a system? What part of documenting and saving your family story in a visual format are you not doing but you want to do? I just want to know how I can help you. And so make sure you leave a comment below, because I do have systems for these parts of our life, and I'm excited to share them with you. So I also don't want you to miss when I share about how I do what I do. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any videos, and I will see you next time.